Hey YouTube, it's Anthony from CompSci Studio and welcome back to your 35th Java programming tutorial. So if you guys made it through the last tutorial, that's pretty much the tough part. It's just trying to understand what the heck is going on with all those indexes and stuff in 2D arrays. So if you guys got that mastered, this should be a breeze, this program. Just the only thing different today is we're going to be basically we're going to have a bunch of values in our 2D array, just like we did before. We're going to have we're going to initialize it the exact same way. Just this time I'm going to be printing out every single element in that array using a nested for loop, two nested for loops. I haven't taught you guys about nested for loops, but I guess this is a good time to learn it. Basically what a nested for loop is, it's just a for loop inside a for loop. So it sounds kind of weird at the start, but it's actually not that tricky. So yeah, the best way to learn it is, I guess, just get right into it. So first off, let's just make another integer array, and let's, I don't know what dimension should I make it. Let's just make it a 5 by 5, and maybe later on we could change it up or something. So let's just make an integer array. Let's call it my grade array. Grade array, that sounds kind of funny. And then just your two square brackets because it's a 2D array. And then set it equal to your curly braces, your semicolon down, and then inside these curly braces you're going to put down set of curly braces, comma, and then another set. And then what I do, I don't know if you guys found it helpful, but I bump that down like that just so I could set it up like a grid. So basically once I put in all my values, I'm going to do that right now. So I said I was going to make it a 5 by 5, so let's go 23, comma, 45, 34, 86, and one more number, 12. Actually, 5 by 5, that's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of yeah, I would have to make 5 more of these, so I'm gonna make a 5 by 3. So I would have to add one more of these and just bump that down like that. So I'm gonna add in like 34. It's adding a bunch of random numbers. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't need to be the same as mine. It wouldn't affect your program. 70. So right now we have a, I think that's a 3 by 5 actually, because it's 3 rows and then 5 columns. So if I said 5 by 3, I think I did. That was my bad. I'm making a 3 by 5. So yeah, now that we have all our values in here, let's make our nested for loop next. For and okay, so maybe I should explain this while I'm going. So our first for loop, our outer for loop in our nested for loops, I guess. Basically what that's gonna do is it's gonna be keeping track of our rows, while the inner for loop is gonna be keeping track of our column position. So let's make our first one, call it for int rows is equal to 0, and then we gotta say rows is less than 3 because we have 1, 2, 3 rows, and then we could just say rows plus plus. Close that up, and then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make another for loop. So inside this for loop, just go right in there. Make sure you're inside these curly braces. Make another for loop, int columns or column, whatever, set that equal to 0, and then as long as columns, come on Anthony, focus, is less than 5, and then just say I plus plus. And we did less than 5, oh my gosh, I'm tired, my bad, columns plus plus. We did 5 because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns in our 2D array, and I don't know why that got bumped over. There we go. So that's actually how, when we print it out, this is the whole point of this tutorial, just to learn how to print it out in a way that it looks like a grid. So that's exactly how it's going to look when we print it out in our array minus the curly brackets. So yeah, that's what we're going for right there. All right, close those set of curly braces, and now what we're going to do is we're going to be printing out. So just do an sout statement and get rid of, actually no, don't get rid of the ln yet. Just go my great array. Probably should have chosen a shorter name. That's a little long. And I think I said this before, but if I didn't, this first one would be your rows, and this next one would be your columns. So stick rows in there, and then columns in there. So now if we ran this, hope we don't get any errors. Good. Alright, so we get 23 all the way down to 70, all on the same, well, it skips a line and then it goes to the next one, prints it out, goes to the next one. That's not what we want. We want it to be out in this grid format. So we're going to do that. First off, we're going to get rid of this ln. I'll just run it to show you what that does. And as you can see, it's all mashed together. So let's put a little space in between each value. So just add a empty space. And then as you can see, we have spaces in between now. Now we need to go, okay, so every time it gets to the 0, 1, 2, 3, fourth element, we're going to want to tell the computer, okay, I want to go to the next line now. So to do that, all you need to do, it's really simple. You just need to go S out, and that's all you need to do. You don't even have to, if you don't want to, you don't even have to have anything in it. You just go run file, and shabam, look at that. It's so beautiful. It's all printed in a nice organized grid right there. So yeah, let me go over this quickly, and hopefully you guys understood this. So basically what we did here is we created our 2D array. Now our 2D array, we initialized some values in it by using the curly braces, and yeah, so this is basically what we did in our last tutorial. Pretty self-explanatory if you understood it. This is pretty much the whole part of this tutorial right here. So basically we used a nested for loop, which is a for loop inside of a for loop. Our outside for loop keeps track of what row we're on, so it's going to come in here, it's going to be like, okay, we're at row 0, print out a blank line, and then we're going to come into here, and then we loop here until we get to the fourth element. Then we come out of this for loop, increment this by 1, and then we're at the row 1, then we print out a line, and then we do it all over again, and then so on. So try messing around with this, you know, add in your own add in like different ones, like different numbers, add in like 34 or something, or just like change it up and try and get comfortable with doing this. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment in the comment box below, and comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.